Namaste Vidya. Myself G.V. Neha Saini from Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Here I am going to tell you about the anatomy of female reproductive system. Female reproductive system has some external structures. The external female reproductive organs are collectively known as vulva. The external female genital organs include the mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, vestibule, and perineum. Mons pubis is rounded, soft fullness of subcutaneous fatty tissue prominence over the pubic symphysis that forms the anterior border of the external reproductive organs. It is covered with varying amount of pubic hair. So here we can see the mons pubis. This is the mons pubis. Then labia majora and minora. Labia majora are two rounded fleshy folds of tissue that extended from the mons pubis to the perineum. It is protect the labia minora and urinary meatus and vaginal introitus. Labia minora is located between the labia majora and it is narrow, and the lateral anterior aspect are usually pigmented. The inner surfaces are similar to the vaginal mucosa. It is pink and moist. Their rich vascularity. Then we have clitoris. The term clitoris means key. It is an erectile organ. Its rich vascular supply. It is highly sensitive to temperature, touch, and pressure. Then the vestibule. It is an oval shaped area formed between the labia minora, clitoris, and fourchette. Vestibule contains the external urethral meatus, vaginal introitus, and Bartholin gland. Perineum is the most posterior part of the external female reproductive organ. It extends from the fourchette anteriorly to the anus posteriorly and is composed of fibrous and muscular tissues that support the pelvic structures. So here we can see the labia minora, the vestibule. This is the labia minora, this is majora, and the vestibule. This is an oval area where different openings, that is the opening of the urethra and the vagina is there. This is the vestibule area. Then the fourchette, vaginal fourchette is there. Then the clitoris. Then the internal female structures include vagina, uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. So this is the female reproductive organ which is lying inside. It is the uterus along with the ovaries. Fallopian tubes, these are the two tubes extended from the cornu of the uterus to the ovary. It runs in the upper free border of the broad ligament. The length is 8 to 14 centimeters, average 10 centimeters, and is divided into 4 parts. The fallopian tube is 10 to 14 centimeters and lies within the superior border of the broad ligament. It has two openings. Medially, the opening is known as cornua. This is the medial opening, and laterally it opens into the abdominal cavity. So here we can see the fallopian tubes arising from the uterus. Then the first part of the fallopian tube is the interstitial part. It runs in the uterine cavity. It passes through the myometrium between the fundus and the body of uterus. It is about only 1 to 2 centimeters long. It is the intramural part. Intramural part means it is lying inside the cavity of the uterus. Then isthmus. It is the narrow part of tube adjacent to the uterus. It is straight and cord-like, about 2 to 3 centimeters in length. Then ampulla. It is the most vital part and it is about 5 centimeters long, and it is the site of fertilization. So here we can see the interstitial part, isthmic part, and the ampullary part. Then the fourth part is the infundibulum, which is funnel shaped. Here we can see the funnel shaped infundibular part. Fimbria are finger-like processes. One of these is longer than the other and adherent to the ovary. The fimbria become swollen, almost erectile at ovulation. Now, what are the functions of fallopian tube? It is for gamete transport, that is ovum transport and sperm transport. It is providing fluid environment for early embryonic development, transport of fertilized and unfertilized ovum to the uterus. Then arterial supply of the uterine tube. It is by the uterine and ovarian arteries. Tubal branches arise from these arteries to supply the fallopian tube. Now the nerve supply. Sympathetic nerve supply is from thoracic tent to lumbar second spinal nerve, and these are afferent for pain as well as vasomotor. Then parasympathetic innervation is via S2, S3, S4 spinal nerve, and it is vasodilator. Now come to the ovaries. Ovaries are oval solid structure, 1.5 centimeter in thickness, 2.5 centimeter in width, and 3.5 centimeter in length. Each weighs about 4 to 8 grams. Ovary is located on each side of the uterus, below and behind the uterine tubes. So here we can see the location of the ovaries. They are located in the pelvis on either side of the uterus, and they are connected through the fallopian tubes, and each ovary is roughly the size of an almond. Now the position of ovaries, it is different in different stages of a female. In nulliparous adult female, it is lies below the pelvic brim in the ovarian fossa. In newborn, it is lying above the pelvic brim. In multiparous female, it may prolapse in the rectouterine pouch. Ectopic ovary in the inguinal canal or in the labium majus. Now the site of ovary, normally it lies against the lateral wall of the pelvis in a depression known as ovarian fossa. In the diagram we have highlighted the ovarian fossa. This black color dot is the ovarian fossa in the lateral pelvic wall. It is bounded by the external iliac vessels above. So here we can see the external iliac vessels above and internal iliac vessels behind. So this is the boundary of the ovarian fossa where we have the ovary. This is the location of ovary in the ovarian fossa, bounded by the external iliac vessels on the above and posteriorly by the internal iliac vessels. So this is the different location of the ovary. Now external features. The shape of the ovary is ovoid. It has two poles, the superior and the inferior pole. As we can see in the diagram, this is superior and this is inferior pole. Two borders are there, this is anterior and this is posterior border, and two surfaces are there, the medial and the lateral surface. Then the peritoneal reflections in the pelvis, it includes as the peritoneum passes up and over the uterus in the middle of the pelvic cavity, a double peritoneal fold, the broad ligament of uterus, extends between the uterus and the lateral pelvic wall on each side, forming a partition that separates the paravesical fossa and the pararectal fossa on each side. The uterine tube, ovaries, ligaments of ovaries and round ligament of uterus are enclosed within the broad ligament. So here we can see this is the broad ligament where we can see the enclosure of different tubes and ligaments into the broad ligament. So here we can see the broad ligament, round ligament, mesosalpinx and mesoovarium. These are again the peritoneal folds. Now the structure of the ovary contains the cortex, medulla and the hilum. So in the histology of the ovary, we have the outermost covering, which is known as the ovarian epithelium, also known as germinal epithelium. Then inside that we have tunica albuginea. It is the capsule of dense fibrous connective tissue. And then we have the ovary, which has the three compartments, that is outer cortex, inner medulla and stroma. The cortex is outer part, it is dense, contains follicles with oocytes. Medulla is the inner part, it is looser and contains blood vessels, nerves, lymphatic vessels, and stroma, it is the connective tissue of the ovary. So here we can see the coverings of the ovary first, that is the tunica albuginea, the fibrous capsule, then the modified peritoneal cells, and then we have the serosa. Then we come to the germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium of the ovary is the simple cuboidal epithelium which surround the ovaries and continue with the mesothelium of peritoneum. It is dull whitish greyish in appearance. The ovarian surface in the pre-puberty case is smooth, and after puberty it becomes scarred and distorted. Then we have repeated this, that is the ovary has two parts, the outer cortex and the inner medulla. These are the two parts of the ovaries. The cortex has the lining epithelium, that is germinal epithelium made up of cuboidal cells. Then outside that it is covered by the peritoneal layers. Then we have the tunica albuginea, which are the stromal cells thickened beneath the germinal epithelium. And this tunica albuginea contains primordial follicles and corpus albicans. In the medulla, we have connective tissues, blood vessels, nerves and muscles. Some hilous cells are also found. These cells are homologous to the interstitial cells of the testis. So this is the structure of the ovary. Here we can see the cortex is containing the follicles in different stages, and medulla is containing the blood vessels, nerves and lymphatics. This is the enlarged image of the histology of the ovary. Hilous cells, they secrete the androgen like substance in case of females, and there is no follicle, no ova, no oocytes in the medulla. All follicles and ova are found in the cortex. Now function of the ovary. They secrete estrogen, progesterone and for the production of ova. Arteries which supply the ovary, they are ovarian artery arising from abdominal aorta directly. Veins are ovarian vein draining into inferior vena cava, and the lymphatic drainage follow the ovarian artery and drain into para-aortic group of lymph nodes at the level of L1 vertebrae. Then the nerve supply. The sympathetic nerve supply is from T10 to T11 spinal nerves, and the sympathetic nerve supply is vasoconstrictor, and parasympathetic arises from inferior hypogastric plexus. In the diagram we can see the location of inferior hypogastric plexus which supply the ovaries. Now applied. First is ectopic pregnancy. An ectopic pregnancy occurs when the fertilized egg attaches itself in a place other than inside the uterus. Almost all ectopic pregnancies occur in the fallopian tube and are thus sometimes referred to as tubal pregnancies. Second is prolapse of ovaries. Ovaries are displaced into the pouch of Douglas, where they can be palpated by pervaginal examination. Next is tubectomy. It is an operation in which small piece of the fallopian tube on each side is removed and the passage of the sperm into the tube is blocked so that the sperm and ovum cannot be meet. Next is salpingitis. It is the inflammation of the fallopian tube. Then the questions important for you regarding the exams. First question is, write short note on anatomical features of the uterine tube. So in this we have to discuss about the uterine tube. Second question is ectopic pregnancy. Next, it is a detailed question. Write in detail about the anatomical features, blood supply and applied anatomy of uterus with the help of diagram. So it is a long question and a diagram is also required in this question. Next, this is the exercise for you. You have to draw this diagram and label all the structures which are demarcated in this and use color as it is shown in the diagram. Next exercise is again draw and label the diagram of the female reproductive system. So this completes the topic, the female reproductive system. Thank you.